All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Interactive Immersive HQ. My name is Lake Heckman. I'm a new media artist based in Brooklyn, New York. I create interactive installations and generative artworks. Today, I'm going to be talking about a very simple technique that is very powerful. You can see it here. This is polar folding using a fragment shader. So allow us to put in any image and make some pretty cool effects. Like I said, very, very easily. It's about 10 lines of real code. Um, so, a couple things. We have our zoom, we have an offset, we have a spin, we have a number of folds. As we increase the folds, we can see the geometry and symmetry growing. And my inputs are just a bunch of videos and images. Most of these are stock. I mean, all of them are stock. Most of them are from the TouchDesigner samples, and a couple like these are from Pexels, where I downloaded for free. So as you can see, it works really nicely on a range of inputs, and doing something like a video that's moving a little bit slowly is pretty cool because then you start to have this kind of cool like music video-y effect. So that's what we're going to be making today. We're going to jump inside our polar fold. As you'll see, it's just one texture. I'm going to, okay, let's get just this image first. And I'm going to keep it on this while we build out the rest of our effect. So first things first, I'm going to open up a new code window. I'm going to insert a GLSL operator. I'm going to edit. And then let's come over here. So first things first, I'm going to set my custom resolution on this shader. I'll make it 2048 by 2048 just for right now. And the first thing that we're going to do is simply get a pass through. So we have a pass through. It's great. It's a little smushed. It doesn't really matter right now. So a couple things that we're going to do first. First things first, we're going to set up UV and res. So we'll have a vec2, we'll call it UV. We're going to set this equal to vuv.st. And then we are going to center UV. So that's, whoops, Control plus plus to zoom this in. UV equals, or really minus equals, vec2 0.5. And so that's going to center our UV, which is important. And then we're going to get aspect from resolution. So we'll vec2 res, and here we're going to use a built-in uniform utd output info .res.zw. This is going to be the XY resolution. And then float aspect, and this will be res.y over res.x. Or sorry, mess that up. I always do. Res.x over, I mean, it doesn't matter. Because what really matters is what we do here, which is just multiply our x by the aspect ratio. Cool. So now we have aspect correct UV coordinates. Okay, so now that we have our UV coordinates, we need to get to the polar portion. So next thing that we're going to do is basically build out a polar conversion. So to do that, polar conversion, I'm float r equals, and this is going to be the length of our UV space. So this will be radial distance. And then we're going to have another float, in this case, our angle, and this will be the arctangent of our uv.x, uv.y. Angle, arctan. Okay. Now we go back to Cartesian coordinates for our lookup. And sine of a times r plus 0.5. Okay. So this is our classic r cosine theta, r sine theta. But here we're not doing, sorry, I messed this up. Here we're doing vec2 cosine theta, sine theta. Boom. Entire thing times r, and then plus 0.5 because this will readjust it. So we'll remap polar to, this will be 0, 1, Cartesian. And then we can actually move our color sample the whole way down here and use our polar to look it up just to verify that nothing changes. Okay? So now that nothing has really changed, I'm going to add a uniform called upi, and I'm going to set it equal to math.pi. That's an expression. So now we can add geometric polar folding. So to do that, we need to figure out how many folds we're going to have, or how many segments we're going to have. So I will add my u folds uniform. We'll make it 6. And then we'll figure out what segment we're going to be in our radial by taking 2 pi and then dividing it by the number of folds. So this is how much of the unit circle does each fold take up. Okay. It seems we have an error, and that is because I forgot to declare my uniforms. Uniform float u pi, u folds. Now we can change our angle by taking the mod of our angle and the segment. So this is basically going to wrap our angle around the folds. Then we can have a new vec2, call that folded. And this we can use our same cosine a sine a times r plus 0.5. But you'll notice here we use the folded angle to transform back to Cartesian space. And then we don't actually need this polar anymore, but I'll move this comment down here. And then we'll use our folded instead of polar to look up our color. And here we can already start to see it's working. We got some folds. But this doesn't look great. And so what I want to do is flip every other to get rid of those seams. Flip every other segment to remove seams. So we'll say if our A is going to be greater than segment times 0.5, so if it's over the halfway point, right? A, and then we'll just flip it. Segment minus A. So now we're flipping the like upper half, if you will, of each one of our folds, and that's to get this symmetry. And that basically gives us our effect. You'll see that this also works as a float, which is pretty cool. Makes it nice and smooth. And so now the last thing that we can do is just add a couple additional things. So one, if our fold's 3, we get like a triangle. If it's 6, we get like a hexagon. Something like 12 might give us like a snowflake pattern. So cool to mess around. I like 7 because it's prime. Yeah, so now we can add a couple things. Let's say U time and U spin. We use both of those, right? We can add those up here. U spin, U time. And then it's very simple. We can add a rotation to our angle by adjusting A based on spin and time. A plus equals U time times U spin. Here, I still have my parameters up there, but I'm going to set the U time, just expression, to abs time dot seconds. And then my U spin can be used to control that speed. I'll use my parent parameter already. I'll also use my parent parameter for the folds since I have that now. A couple more that we need based on those parameters. I want a U zoom and I want a U offset. Add those here also. U zoom, U offset. Now, it's really easy to add that. Also, we'll go right here before our folded, and we'll add zoom and offset. R equals R times U zoom plus U offset. And then we'll go back and we'll associate this parameter and this parameter. And so now we have exactly that effect that we recreated at the beginning, or that we had at the beginning. We've now recreated it. And if I go back, last thing that I want to do here, open my parameters. And here we can use our resolution, width, and height parameter. And also, well, no, that's actually it. And so now we have a fully configurable effect. And then here I just set the zoom with a simple LFO, and we have this cool thing. So that is it for today's lesson, short GLSL polar folding effect. Thank you for coming to the Interactive Immersive HQ. Happy creating, and I will see you guys next time.
Hey folks, thanks for watching. If you like our YouTube content, I highly recommend you check out the Interactive and Immersive HQ Pro. The HQ Pro is the only comprehensive educational resource and community for immersive design, TouchDesigner, and creative tech pros. In the HQ Pro trainings, we cover almost any topic you can think of, and we go way more in depth than we do in our YouTube tutorials. We have a private group where Matthew Reagan, myself, and our other industry veteran and pioneer teachers answer your questions every single day. If that sounds cool, click the link in the description to learn more. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more free TouchDesigner and immersive content.